Hi everyone, it's Miss Olson, and today I'm going to show you how to bring your still life that we started last time with just a drawing into a completed or semi-completed painted still life. So with color this time, you are going to have a paint tray. The paint tray is set up in a color wheel. So it's important when you're looking at your paint tray to remember that you can mix analogous colors next to each other. For example, if it's red and orange, it might be red and orange. You just have to rinse your brush between colors. And to make a color darker, you can use your neutral colors in the center like black or brown. To make a color lighter with the watercolor today, we will use more water. The first thing we're going to do, speaking of tints and shades, such as these shadows and the creases of this, is make sure that you have all of your tints and shades on your bottle and your fruits. Also make sure first that all your pencil lines are covered. For example, if this was my artwork, I still need to cover the pencil line for my table and my pepper and my bowl. So once you get to this stage of all your pencil lines being covered, take your time. Then you want to make sure that your tints and shades are complete. So the oil pastels are better for tints and shades because we have a really bright white. If we need to add any tints on our bottle, I highly recommend using the white oil pastel. And then also for shadows or darker areas, this oil pastel is darker than your color pencil would have been. So it's really great for adding those dark shades underneath of objects, inside of objects, so that we have them. Tints and shades are first, and finishing pencil lines. Once you're finished with that, we have two different brushes today. We have our medium fluffy brush and our small brush. So for both of those brushes, while you are working and looking at your bottle and your fruits, we want to start with general colors and work into specific. It's called general to specific. For example, with my bottle, I'm not going to get out light blue yet for this area. I did add a beginning tint or shade, and I could add a little more there actually. But I'm going to do it all one color of blue first and then add detail after. So I'm getting my blue on my brush. To make the color darker, just wiggle your brush into it. And then I'm going to do a big general color on the blue bottle. This is why we did not add color last time, because it's so satisfying to take your brush to a large area like this. Now this is just my base color. I know it's super light right now. The medium fluffy brush starts base colors for general. Then you want to put it away and get out your small brush, because the small brush, when you wiggle it in, watch how much darker this will be, will help you with your darker values like this. If you want to just start with small too, that's fine. If you have a smaller area, you can start with small. Or if you're feeling patient and you want to take your time to paint the whole thing, you could start with small. But we want to start painting those general areas of color. And I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then go back with darker color after. I'm going to now address other areas for my general colors, like my pepper. I'm going to get some red. Now you do need to think about color mixing, because watch, when I paint this red like this, it looks more like an apple. And it's not an apple, it's this darker pepper. So I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm actually going to get small brush now and get some brown to mix into the pepper to make it a little darker, or a little bit of black too, because it's just a darker color. Get in some of my red on my brush now and mixing it together. So you'll see this looking more like a realistic color for this pepper when I mix my colors in. And I was careful when I added that black shade because it's darker on the outside edge, and that's where I put it. Just take your time and mix your colors as you go. So my peach is going to be, I don't have peach. Oh no, Miss Olson, what am I going to do? Well, peach is just going to be like a light orange, right? So we make colors lighter with water. So I could start even just with water here. And then it has a little bit of orange or a little yellow and a little red, either way. I'm going to put a little more yellow in here. So I'm starting with yellow for my base color. It's called base colors are always first. Then I'm going to mix in some orange, and it will dry that way. It's looking a little too orangey for me. I could put in a little bit of pink even, or violet, to get it a little more peachy. But now I'm going to move, this is just base color first. We'll do more detail later. base color first. I'm going to all my base colors, and that banana really completed it. I should have added a white shade, but I can add more of those. White tint. I can add more tints later. But don't forget to add your banana tint. Since I made the mistake for you, you can learn from my mistakes. I'm going to add that shadow there. Excuse me. And then my bowl color could be any color I want. I don't want to do blue. I was thinking about it, but I don't want it to be blending in with the blue bottle. So I'm going to go with a little bit of green. I have a lot of this greenish color in my home. And again, I don't have the table color in my tray. It's a yellowish brown. So instead of saying, oh no, Miss Olson, we don't have a light brown, I'm going to start with yellow in the background as my base color. I'm not worried yet today about the background or the wall. Most of us will probably not get there, and we'll talk more about that next class. If you do feel like you're going to do that today, don't jump into doing a color that's similar to these. I'm not going to do blue because my bottle's blue. I want it to be very different in color. So I'm getting out some brown, and I'm adding the more texture with my lines of my brown, and I'm also mixing in some brown with the table color itself with my small brush. So I'm getting that table color right. And then once you have your table painted like your background, and I can still add more detail to that for the wood texture, you also want to look at the shadows down underneath of things. So there's a shade or shadow on the table. There's going to be a really dark shade right underneath of the object. And then when you get your brush wet, you can also spread the shade out to be more of like that longer shadow. See? So that's just going to help to make it look more realistic. And I'm going to go back, and now that my bottle's had some time to dry, I can add some darker color to my bottle. Also look for your bottle to have, there's probably a darkness in the top. So I'm going to add that darker area up here. And this is the start to mine. I did not yet address my wall color. I'm not worried about that for you guys today either. You could start adding paint inside your windows, and you could also start adding paint inside your picture frames. Just do a base color first, and then when your base color is done, you can add your details, right? But it's good to let layers dry as you go too, so that we have full background colors finished first. And I'm going to now just finish painting this area in my picture frame on the wall, and then we will continue more next time. I hope you have a great art class. Remember, it's not a race. I paint very quickly, so you can have more art time, but you should maybe only get about a little bit of your painting done today. This will take a few classes to paint. So I hope you have a wonderful art class. Remember, general to specific. My bottle is not done yet. My bowl is not complete yet. I have nothing is complete yet. I've just started my base color first, which is your general color, getting the color right and using some color mixing today. I hope you have a wonderful art class, and I'll see you next time.